The accelerated SAP ASAP methodology, the new way of implementing SAP. In this video, we will explain the objective of the ASAP methodology and how the ASAP methodology have evolved over time and through the versions. The video is divided into the following topics: characteristics of an SAP project, challenges of implementing SAP, the objective of the ASAP methodology, and then we'll look at the evolution of the ASAP methodology. So let's first look at some of the characteristics of a typical SAP project. And here we're talking about an implementation project. So normally or typically the key business processes are across business units and functions. This meaning the business processes that are in scope of SAP and will be handled by SAP. The result of this is that a large number of employees or end users are potentially impacted, and you'll be facing a very complex business process scope, which will require a significant investment. Normally, a significant investment is required. Now, also standard SAP process is normally to be adopted. That is normally the objective and the target of every SAP project. And by adopting a standard SAP process, you will normally or typically be facing significant change to your core work processes, as these needs to be changed from what you have designed to the standard approach that SAP believes. Now, of course, you might have some companies have a better fit than others, but normally or typically there is a significant change to be done. Also, SAP normally becomes a central component in your system landscape. And this is mainly due to above that it's the core business processes that you're going to use SAP for. It is going to be a large number of processes across your business unit and functions. And because of that, SAP normally becomes a central component in your system landscape. Now, it is not the only component. It's very seldom the only component, and thereby you have a lot of integration that you would need to handle, and that can be with internal or external systems, and often those integrations are of high and very complex in SAP projects. Now, SAP have certain mechanisms that will allow you to integrate SAP in a number of ways with your other systems, but it's still complex integration effort normally. So with these characteristics of a typical SAP project, what are then the challenges in SAP projects, and why do some SAP projects tend to fail? So this is a survey from IDC, which is a list of the main reasons why SAP projects get into trouble or fails or don't deliver the value that they are expected to do. And if you see here, actually number 4 on the list is that 54% of SAP projects that experience problems do so because of poor project management. And project management can be the project manager itself, or it can be the methodology and the approach that you're going to take. Nevertheless, 54%, according to this survey, faces problem because of poor project management. So let's look at the objective of the ASAP methodology. So ASAP is, as we all know by now, accelerated SAP methodology. So the traditional approach is that you are depending on expert knowledge. You're depending on consultants with specific knowledge of either your business process, your industry, or SAP itself. And because you are dependent on this, you require a significant investment to undergo an SAP implementation project. It can be an investment in time or money. And you have an increased risk in the project because each project seems to be unique every single time. So this is the traditional approach. You will be undertaking a project. You might use SAP as the tool or the framework for your project, but you will undergo such a customization that your project ends up being very unique. Now, with the a SAP methodology approach. The objective is to standardize the approach to implement SAP by having a repetitive, structured, and well-documented implementation methodology. So this is what they want to try and achieve. And SAP's own definition of the ASAP methodology is that the ASAP methodology is the SAP roadmap for the implementation, enhancement, or upgrade of SAP solution and support cost-effective and speedy implementation of the SAP solution in our customer environment. So this is a lot of sales talk, but basically what it says is by applying a structured way, you will be able to cut costs. This is further echoed in the next statement as ASAP to the ASAP definition, as it provides a proven, comprehensive, repeatable, and rich implementation methodology to streamline projects and achieve lower total cost of implementation. So this is what they want to achieve. So they also realize that SAP projects in the past have had a bad reputation, or projects have failed. They've ended up being very unique, and even though they had a standard SAP framework or software, it ended up being very unique in every case, and a lot of customers might be hesitant to undertake such project. So let's look at the objective of the SAP methodology in terms of what is the content of it in a high level content. So basically there are three components. One is the ASAP implementation roadmap. The implementation roadmap provides the proven implementation methodology, and it covers a lot of things. It covers all the different work streams and all the different phases. So this is the implementation roadmap. Then you also have the global template roadmap, which is a tailored approach and roadmap for rolling out a solution globally. It can be regional, it can be globally, it can be at multiple locations within a certain geographical area. So this roadmap focuses on describing how to organize and how to run a project in which a corporate template is developed and rolled out throughout your organization. And this is generally the roadmap for the more complex implementation, or where you are trying to harmonize SAP across a large number of entities. So this is the very large corporations. And then finally, as with all software, there comes a time where you need to upgrade or renew. So there is also an upgrade component which is available from SAP. In terms of the ASAP methodology and this course, we will be focusing on the ASAP implementation roadmap itself. That is the component we are going to explain. We will explain to you later on how you will get both the implementation roadmap as well as the other components. But let's move on and have a look at the evolution of the ASAP methodology, especially on the implementation part. So it all started out, or the recent confirmed version we had that was generally released was the ASAP version 3.10. So it had a VBS structure where it provided, it divided the methodology into phases, deliverable group, deliverables, sub-deliverables, activities, tasks, and it had a component called output. So it operated with an input and an output version. Now what SAP realized was that this VBS in ASAP version 3.10 had a need to be streamlined. So they streamlined the VBS into ASAP 7, which was a much simpler VBS. It now looked at phases, work streams, deliverable, and sub-deliverables. And these four components or four levels in the VBS greatly simplified things. Now, further evolving the methodology, they found that now that they had a streamlined VBS, it was time to look at standardizing the VBS, because the 4-level VBS was not consistently applied, or it differed in certain situations. So out of this came ASAP 8. So here they did continue the phase definition, they continued the deliverable, they introduced a task, but then instead of having the work stream that you had here, they used the work stream as an attribute to the task and deliverables. So this was their way of streamlining, taking the streamlined VBS and further standardizing it. So in short, you can say here in the bottom that you went from ASAP 3.10 to ASAP 7. You went from an individual project design approach to a more streamlined, but still a design approach. And from 7 to 8, you evolve into a more delivery and value focused approach, also called a modular factory approach. So you were saying, I want to be able to rapidly deploy SAP. I want to have it very streamlined, very standardized, and I want to adopt a modular approach where it's easy to get started. So this is the evolution of the content and the structure of the methodology itself. Now, the ASAP methodology has also evolved in another dimension, and that is how you can access and get it. So whereas you in ASAP 3.10 and 7 could go into SAP, download the full methodology and have it on your local laptop, desktop, server, ready at hand, ASAP 8 is now adopting a more online approach. And it follows all the other companies that is going into cloud-based, online-based, where software is no longer something that you have locally. It is something you access in the cloud, or you access it when you are online. So SAP and the ASAP methodology has evolved in the same direction. Now another dimension where there has been an evolution is in the work streams. So in ASAP 7 you had a number of different work streams: project management, organizational change management, training, data management, business process management, the technical track, technical solution management, and then an integration focused track in where they call integrated solution management. In ASAP 8 they have further granulated this, and they are now operating with additional work streams. So project management stays, organizational change management stays, training is still a separate work stream, but whereas data management before was one, they have now split it into two, where they have data migration as well as data archiving grouped together under the overall data management terminology. Then business process management, they've split into still business process management, BPM, but then they have also introduced and added a separate work stream which is value management. And this is especially important as you want to go into a value focus. You want to make sure you have the outcome, the value that the project is going to bring. For the technical track as well, they split it into two. One is focusing on the technical solution management, which is the same as before, but they have added a focus on the application lifecycle management, ALM. And finally, for the integration solution management, they have split that into two parts, which one is test management. Test is across all the phases, all the work streams. We need to have different tests executed, planned, designed, and managed. And as well as the cutover management. That's also an integrated task. You need the cutover plan and the cutover execution to make sure that all the work streams are engaged. So they have split the integrated solution management into two very specific work streams, one focusing on testing and one focusing on the cutover management. So this is in terms of the work streams, and these are now the new work streams in ASAP 8, which is no longer in the VBS structure, but is now in the attributes that you can assign to deliverable and tasks. So further looking at the evolution, so ASAP 7 had 6 phases. ASAP 8 also have 6 phases, but they have changed the last phase from a run to an operate. This is more to align it, the phases and the methodology with the application lifecycle, where you're talking about you have some go live, you have some immediate support, but then you go into operate mode. So the content is pretty much the same, but they have aligned the terminology to better fit with the application lifecycle management. So in summary, the new ASAP 8 standardized VBS aligned with also PMI.org. So it's aligned with a project management best practice. New operate phase to align with application lifecycle management processes. New work streams to allow clear responsibility and include value focus. The new ASAP 8 also supports an agile approach as well as a standard approach. There's different variations. And finally, you have the accelerators, the templates, the example, the white papers that is included in the methodology has been cleaned up and further streamlined and improved. So you should have a better set of content that can help you get started. So with that, let's summarize this video lesson. So after completing this video, you should have a good understanding of the objective that the ASAP methodology wants to achieve and how the ASAP methodology have evolved over time from version 3.10 to version 7 and finally now to version 8. Thank you.